What's up, guys? Welcome to BitCast, episode 49 for the week of February 4th, 2018. I'm your host, Jake Martin. In the studio this week, you may have noticed if you're watching the video, we got a big crew here today. For the first time in a long time, we've had 4 people on the podcast, and this is the first time ever with video.
Wow.
This is big.
Wow.
This is big.
This is podcast first time history. Ever with 4 people on video.
Yes, which is not a big feat, I know, for a lot of people, but it's a lot for this tiny room.
Big for us.
You guys know how hard it is to get in here, behind this table.
How about this desk, though?
Yeah,
wow.
This desk.
Who made it?
I forgot to mention it last time, but Heartshake Custom Woodworks, my good friend Neil and I slaved over this.
Thanks,
and,
Neil.
Built it. And really, he did most of the work. I didn't do anything. But if you're ever in the market for some, this is like the lowest end thing that he's ever done. This is all plywood, basically. He builds mainly like live edge tables and like really, really nice furniture. And,
this looks like garbage
and
compared
some good
to what
stuff.
he can actually do.
Yeah, this is nothing. So anyways,
Look him up. Link in the description.
Check out Heartshake Custom Woodwork for this sick table. We're going to be discussing the best games, the games we regret missing, and the biggest letdowns of 2017. We haven't done a podcast about this yet, and I think it's time. I think we've had time to marinate on it a little bit. And initially, I had you guys pick out 10, and we realized that not all of us had played 10 video games.
I don't think any of us have 10.
Yeah,
I have, but but
total 10.
yeah. I snuck in some like indie ones that didn't were like more just I dabbled. I didn't
So
really.
should I put SimCity Build It on there?
You should.
I should have.
You should.
I'm gonna make sure to mention.
Honorable mention.
HQ.
Are you still playing that?
No, I had to.
HQ trivia?
I had to delete it.
Addiction.
Or
Straight
Golf
up
Clash?
addiction.
Yes, Golf Clash. I do actually. I love Golf Clash. I'm doing a lot of that right now.
I think $80 was really my cutoff.
So we're gonna be talking about that, and then obviously the main news segment is there as well. And there's a lot of news from Nintendo, unfortunately. So anybody out there that's not a big Nintendo fan, again,
Turn it off now.
I apologize. Before we jump in, a little bit of house cleaning. Don't forget to check out our Facebook or Instagram page for our contest. It is ending February 12th, 2018, where you could enter to win this fantastic piece of nostalgia right here. Guys, this thing has got 30 games preloaded on it, and it'll bring it right back. Bring it right back to sitting on the carpet with your siblings if you had them. If you didn't, could bring back some sad memories where you didn't have one of these in siblings. So.
Well, actually,
I did not have one of those, so that would bring back 0 memories.
But it's interesting. Most of these games are single player anyway, so there's like 3 multiplayer games. So
yeah,
just be aware.
Not even worth it, really. Yeah.
Is Ninja Turtle Surf on that?
It is not. That is not even a game.
That's the thing, though.
Ninja Turtle Surf is the name of the game.
Ninja Turtles is the game on Super Nintendo, but
Surf.
There is a part where they kind of ride those things, and it looks like they're surfing, but it's not called Ninja Turtle Surf.
That's just all I remember. That's the level I remember is the surf.
The one level. Yeah.
Review of the week comes by way of Landry from Chattanooga.
Shout out.
And he is actually the guy who provided us with our topic of the show today as well.
Okay.
So double win here for Landry. He commented on our podcast last week, Matt, and he said, "Hey guys, fellow Chattanooga and Nintendo fan here. I recently had a friend recommend the podcast to me, and I'm stoked to know there is a quality podcast about video games coming from Chattanooga. Keep up the good work."
Heck yeah.
Were you that friend that recommended it?
I was not actually.
Okay.
This was the first time that I did not have any connection to this individual. I was like, I don't know where this person came from,
know
but
who that
Landry,
is.
so glad that you found us, and thank you again so much for that review and for the topic of the show.
Shout out. We'll be sending you a BitBloggers t-shirt when we get them printed.
Yeah, we might send you some stickers your way. some sticks.
Some drumsticks. Custom BitBloggers drumsticks.
I wanted to abbreviate it, but then I realized it just turns into sticks. So I was like, that doesn't
Totally
make sense.
Or chopsticks.
BitBloggers chopsticks.
Chopsticks.
And like they're the ones you reuse, you have to wash again, and you can take them with
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, the
good,
wood
to
ones.
restaurants.
The good stuff.
The
Yeah.
wood ones from the restaurant.
So, I'm going to skip over what we're playing because we're going to talk a lot about video games today. But the drink of the show, as you may have noticed, is the ever so wonderful Kirkland Light. Kirkland Signature.
K-Sigs.
Yeah, Kirkland Signature Light. And we're trying to think of a name. So if anybody out there has a clever name for Kirkland Signature Light,
Hashtag.
refreshing lager, please let us know because it is indeed refreshing.
It is very refreshing. I'm very surprised by this.
I'm tasting the mountains right now.
Absolutely. It tastes like we're in Washington.
Would you agree that it tastes like Hefeweizen?
Yeah, I'm
little
definitely
sweeter.
getting that.
Yeah, zoom on the camera on that one there. Zoom in on it. See it?
See how he zoomed in on that, cameraman? Good job, cameraman.
All right, well,
I really thought I was watching the screen. I was like, "How is he gonna do
It's
that?"
voice activated.
I didn't even introduce you guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, by the way, if you guys weren't familiar with the show, to my left is Eric Higgins.
Hey, I'm back.
After we're already in the show. Yeah, Eric's back. When's the last time you've been on the show? It's been a minute.
I honestly think the last time I was on the show was maybe when we reviewed E3 stuff. So like forever ago.
No.
What about Spider-Man?
Were you on for Star Wars?
No,
No.
it was me and Spencer.
Ooh.
I wasn't on for Logan. I wasn't on for.
Wait, what?
Uh,
My girlfriend was on this podcast?
we had a topic about her and you guys dating. You didn't get that one?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm-
rough.
I'm
Where
Don't-
did
don't
you
listen
get that,
to
Cameron?
it.
Where
I'm
did you get that?
PO'd right now.
Don't listen to it.
And then to my right, we have, of course, Matt Inceman again.
Hey.
And our favorite veteran, Cameron Betts. Recently back from a nice trip to Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, he's you didn't get more tan. I was hoping to see a bronzer Cameron out there.
No, I didn't walk around in my Speedo as much as I wanted to, unfortunately. With all the work people around it.
Yeah, business trips kind of limit you on that.
Yeah. It really throws a wrench in the gears.
Your roommate also probably wouldn't allow it.
Damn, man.
I actually didn't have a roommate, which was very nice.
Ooh.
I had an entire suite to
Your
myself.
company's taking care of you then, man. That's nice.
I was only in like a 5-foot radius the entire, like the bed and the bathroom the entire time, but it was still nice.
All good stuff. Well, so there's the introductions, guys, and we're going to jump right into the news segment. Be right back. And we're back. Guys, there was a lot of news from Nintendo, mainly this week, but a few other big notable things, and one that I actually forgot to mention. So before we jump into the first one, I'm going to mention the president of Sony, I believe, is stepping down. I forget his name right now, but I just saw that he headed up, or not Sony, PlayStation. He is stepping down. So we'll kind of see what direction that takes. I mean, it was literally just like he's announced his resignation. So
What do you think he's going to next?
he's probably retiring, dude. I mean, I think he looked like he was like 50 to 60 years old. So
Wait, that's not that old.
60 years old?
That's
Whenever
early.
you're-
That's early.
How old
That's
is
an
Miyamoto?
early-
Whenever you're a
I feel like
millionaire.
Miyamoto's like
Miyamoto's
he's getting up
different.
there.
Miyamoto's different. I don't think he will ever retire. He will work at Nintendo until he dies.
So that is the president of PlayStation, a Japanese man then?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Because what kind
Careful.
of tangent should
Careful.
I'm trying to think of the best way.
Careful.
I think most Japanese people who have a lot of pride in their work normally stay with their work longer
Mm-hmm.
or to the end of their lives. So he must not be too proud of Nintendo right now.
Well, no, I don't think it's that.
PlayStation. Sorry.
It is like
Man.
it is definitely like a pride thing a lot of the times for that culture. But I mean I can't speak on it because I'm not Japanese.
Is there any word of like a successor for him?
I don't know yet. I do not know. So stay tuned on that. We'll see. But hopefully that brings some new life into PlayStation, which they don't really need because they're doing the best right now. But so first up, rumor: Microsoft is preparing to buy EA. The only thing that's really significant about this, and I think that's worth actually thinking about, is that Microsoft has been struggling a ton with its exclusives right now. So, I mean, we just said PlayStation's killing it. Switch has a strong start right now. They obviously have a ways to go to catch Xbox. But what are you laughing at? Cameron's laughing over here.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Eric had like this dead stare, face, just like staring at the wall. I was like, "What?"
He's
are you
listening.
doing?
He's actively listening.
I'm sorry.
So you just bought an Xbox. Comparatively,
Maybe.
compared to PlayStation, like from a game standpoint, how do you feel about it?
Well, so to be completely honest, which this, some people may feel odd about this, but I wanted to play PUBG so bad
That you bought an Xbox?
that I bought an Xbox. And, in hopes and in knowledge that there's a lot of games that I've missed over the years that I've wanted to go back and play. A lot of that feels now like, it was definitely built up more. Halo, what was it, 5 is the most recent one?
Mm-hmm.
Not a very good game, apparently.
No.
It was just kind of average. It didn't have, they didn't add on to it, and so it had more nostalgia than anything else, I think is what they were playing on. Other than that, there
The
was
multiplayer was what everyone liked about that game, though. People said that the multiplayer was fantastic. Just the single player campaign was
The
garbage.
Right.
multiplayer wasn't that great. I think Spencer. I think I bought it. I think I have it on Xbox One, but Spencer's obviously.
It's Spencer's Xbox.
Yeah, but I bought it so we could play it on there, and it's not that great. It's really none of it's that great. The
Yeah.
multiplayer is not even that much
Interesting.
fun.
Then you get
And this is coming from Halo is my number one all time favorite game.
Well, and apparently like Gears of War wasn't that strong. I actually downloaded that with the Xbox Pass, however that thing is. I also had remembered that I was really excited about this. Had remembered that they had released or had adapted the backwards compatibility, but that even seems to be pretty limited too. Because I thought, and of course I didn't do enough research, but I thought it was kind of any Xbox game,
right?
Any game, but it's really they have very specific games that you can play, a library of games that you can play backwards compatible. And there is a large library, but it's not like one of the games that I still have from when I had an Xbox 360 was Splinter Cell.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
One of the later ones. Anyway, it was the most recent Splinter Cell, which I was really hoping they would make another Splinter Cell. That would be a great game for Xbox to release.
They need to bring it back to like the roots because I feel like the early games were really, really good.
Yeah, I remember how challenging that was, and of course I was playing. We're getting a little off topic.
No, you're good.
Anyway, so I don't think the library is as strong as it needs to be in terms of their specific, what do you call them?
First party titles.
Yeah. And,
or IP.
But, PUBG apparently has kind of really helped. I mean, that game is number one downloaded game of the year or something like that.
It's not console specific, but because it's on PC too, but for Xbox.
Apparently it had a lot of build. Once it released on Xbox, it's been really successful.
Oh, yeah. Because some people still own Xboxes and they don't want to play PC, so they're like, I'll just get it on. I'll get on Xbox.
So, my hope is that, of course, like, the only one I can think of right now, because it's the only one I've played recently, but the Sea of Thieves, I think is going to be really strong when that releases. That had a pretty okay beta. Had some issues with, on their end, it wasn't Xbox's end, but
just connection.
A lot of connection issues. But once
that does look very cool.
Once we got into the game, it was a lot of fun. And it's going to be a lot of fun with people. Probably single player will be okay. There's not really a story as far as I know.
Yeah.
There is kind of a story. There's like factions. Anyway. So
anyway.
Maybe what can happen is with this purchase, though, well, what they might end up doing is really making a lot of EA titles like giving a lot of
preference to Xbox?
options. You get like better.
Well, no, this would so if they bought EA, they would own FIFA, Battlefield, Madden.
What about Battlefront?
They would own all of these. Yeah, and all of those things that EA makes.
Would that all go exclusive?
Would they own? Would they own Battlefield?
I don't think they would go exclusive, but I think what they're going to do is how like
EA Dice.
I guess that's true.
You know how when when Call of Duty went back and forth,
I don't think it's going to happen
between Xbox and PlayStation. Now, like PlayStation basically has the Call of Duty franchise.
Yeah, the titles or the deals.
More in there kind of thing, and they give better incentives. Either you get to download it first, or you get a beta or something like that.
Right. Get some extra
DLC. I would
DLC.
imagine they're going to do that, especially if they're struggling with. And
First party
it feels
stuff.
like they've been struggling since the Xbox One released to really play catch up.
Yeah, well, and I mean,
unfortunate because it actually is pretty nice console. The home screen is a little convoluted in my opinion, but that's probably just because I'm used to PlayStation.
The only reason this wouldn't happen though is because EA would lose a significant amount of money because they would limit themselves to only one console.
Yeah.
Right now they're across both platforms, and obviously they spend a ton of money advertising Battlefront and these titles that were specific to PlayStation. So just something to think about, but it's interesting because Microsoft does need to figure out its first party issue where there's not a lot of games that they can bring in, and Microsoft has a ton more money. They have a lot more money than Sony and any other game publisher right now, so they could probably do something like that.
$35 billion.
$35 billion.
I will say though, is
what it would cost.
But
they could afford it.
I'm not a big fan of EA right now. They haven't really done a lot of great.
They're on a bad streak.
Things recently with the in-game purchases and
DLC's been rough.
A lot of the earning systems, especially in the Battlefront, but just in general, they make a lot of games that are repetitive. I'm a big fan of the FIFA series, and I haven't played this one yet, but the last probably 3 FIFAs have all been just slight variations. Same thing with Madden and.
I feel like
NBA
they've gotten
series,
away with this stuff for a while, and people are just now catching on and starting to call them out.
So maybe if this purchase does go through, maybe Microsoft will get rid of some of that stuff and help revitalize. Maybe it'll be like a double thing. They help revitalize Microsoft, Microsoft helps revitalize all those IPs.
Hey.
Jake says no.
No, I'm just saying competition's always good.
Oh yeah.
Competition's always good. I would not be opposed to that. So, all right. Well, keep your eyes on that one. We'll see what happens. Up next, hot Nintendo stats. Nintendo had an earnings hot Nintendo
Wow.
stats. It was a earnings or what are those called? Earnings meeting or
Yeah.
reporting
Stocks.
something. Basically, they just had a whole bunch of things they wanted to say, and so a lot of this news actually came out of that. But
Press conference.
no,
Like a shareholders meeting?
shareholders meeting or something like
Shareholders
that. Yeah.
meeting. That's what. It
What
was.
actually matters. So this first one's pretty cool.
Business degree.
More Switches have been sold in the first 9 months than the Wii U's lifetime of 5 years. So it just went to like 14.86 million, and the Wii U I think sold 12 or 13 million.
Gosh.
So in 9 months, it's
Dang.
already sold
What's the
more
price difference
than the
between
Wii
that?
U. Same
Initial?
price.
Really?
I think they were both 350 when they first came out.
Just better marketing and better product overall.
Switch
And
is
it
only
makes
300.
sense when you see it. Like if you see someone using it in public, or you just see someone, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Whereas if someone saw the Wii U, they'd be like, wait, so
Well, I guess there's more like
a
word of mouth
tablet.
marketing because people are taking them outside.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're seeing people more and more playing them, on subways and airports and whatnot.
It also seems like a better product.
It
Though.
Oh, it
definitely
is.
is.
Like
It
I
definitely
mean,
is.
just by comparison,
in a
you're kinda
design
like,
standpoint.
You're like, well, they might have felt like, in some ways, some people might have felt like, oh, they went backwards just because they released
The same thing,
a
kind of.
handheld. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was for the last like 3 consoles. No one's done that. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that you had the PS Vita, but that thing's garbage.
And that's worth noting too, because it is a handheld. So there's more. It's probably more likely that you're going to have 2 or more of these consoles in a house where you have kids, where they want their own, and they can
Yeah.
take it in the car with them and play on their Switch. And because Cameron, you just picked up one recently too, and I always forget that you have one. But what was your reasoning for buying one? I mean, just obviously Zelda and
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
like 100% it.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so scared to get into this PUBG like Xbox fad because
Maybe you could just.
I'll do it.
maybe
I
you
have
can
no
get
doubt in
your,
my mind. I have nothing to spend my money
Just
on. so-
one console per game.
Yeah.
One game per console.
worth it. Well, that's why I haven't bought Metroid Prime, because I could easily buy a DS, just the crappy little the door
2DS
the
or-
door wedge one, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and just buy Metroid. But that's like $120 purchase for
Can
one
you get a used
one
one,
game.
and I can let you borrow the game?
I could, but that's just stupid, Matt. That's just dumb. We're not going to talk about it.
But yeah, system sellers. That's what it's called.
System sellers. So, speaking of Zelda, though, Zelda sold 6.7 million copies in 9 months as well. But this is crazy. Mario Odyssey sold 9.07 million in 2 months.
Good gosh.
So I heard this, and that's really good. I'm so happy that Mario sold that well, but it kind of makes me sad to know that Zelda, which I liked so much more than Mario Odyssey, is selling less in 9 months. It's still a system seller. People love Zelda; they'll play it. They recognize the franchise, but that just shows how much more power Mario actually has.
Well, and I
Yeah.
feel like Mario's more accessible too.
it
Like,
is. Yeah, I guess
Right.
you're right.
I feel like a younger person could pick up Mario a little bit more than Zelda with all the quests, and there's so much
Yeah.
reading that you have to do. And
And this one's actually Mario Odyssey is actually fairly straightforward, pretty easy. If you want to beat just the main story, once you start getting to the collectathon, it gets pretty difficult. But
yeah,
I mean, it's still just incredible that it's sold that much. So that attach rate is literally everyone almost has Mario Odyssey that has a Switch, which is pretty nuts. And then almost 1 out of every 2 Switch owners has Zelda. So that's pretty cool to see. Up next, 3DS. So you may remember a while ago we talked about the 3DS and how we were concerned that the Switch would kind of cannibalize the 3DS.
yeah.
I know Will Carpenter, he had mentioned that he was no, it's totally different, totally opposite of what this would be. But Kimishima came out and said the affordability of the Nintendo 3DS family of system places it in a critical position as the first dedicated video game platform for children who have no prior experience with dedicated video game systems. It is also positioned as an affordable product for budget-conscious consumers. We will continue working to promote Nintendo 3DS to these consumers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes a ton of sense. I think that even if you have a Switch, you're not just going to throw your 3DS in the trash. And I think if you're not ready to buy a Switch, this is a great option. I mean, this is one of the best systems that has been put out maybe ever. I mean, there's so many good games, and it has full backwards compatibility with DS too, which has,
I always forget that. I always forget that it has DS games you can play too.
yeah. So the library is super strong. So if anyone missed out on this, I mean, now would probably be the perfect time to
Yeah.
play some of these games.
You can jump in, and Nintendo's always doing these deals where they drop they'll drop like their classics to like $20 or something like that. So you can buy all their almost best games essentially for dirt cheap, and like you can start out just playing all these games back to back to back to where we had to wait for 5 years to get all these over time. So yeah, I mean it makes sense. And as much as I kind of like to disagree, where it's like you have two handheld consoles and one is superior, obviously it's like just put all of your efforts towards that. It is smart to diversify, and like they sell like just still outrageous numbers of games. Like Pokemon, I forget what it's sold, but Pokemon's always going to continue to sell a ton of these, and like you said, it's budget conscious, so they can sell multiple 3DSs to one family, and it works out. So thought that was interesting. Nintendo Online Service. This is actually pretty interesting. I don't know how much you've kept up to this with this, Cameron, but
I didn't know at all.
so they like Nintendo randomly like tweeted out like a bunch of random things. These all came from Twitter. Like it was just like boom, boom, boom. Here you go. So
Well,
they
that's
said,
where people were least expecting it. So that's why they did it.
yeah,
Hoping no one would
it's
notice.
like, let's just throw those out there. So they via Twitter they said the online service is coming in September, and so the services will cost $4 a month, $8 for 3 months, or $20 a year, which is dirt cheap compared to PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. Are you paying for Live also? I guess
What
you
is
have to. So Switch's online service is $20 a year.
Okay. Yes, Xbox is 60,
60,
something like that.
okay.
And so, what is that even going to entail? Are they still doing the arcade thing?
Yeah, so we're not exactly sure, and I'm really excited to see what this looks like. And actually, Landry had a question about this, but I read this and it said the Switch game will be free only for 1 month in question. Once the next month rolls around and a new game is featured, the previous offering will be removed. So
From the console or from
like accessibility. So if you want to purchase it after that, then you can buy the game, but you'll have it for a month to be able to play for free, essentially.
Okay.
So
Before you buy?
no, it just goes away. So it's not like PS Plus or Xbox Live where you just download the game and you have it for forever. It's just like you can only play it for that month, and then like a new game comes and you play that for that month.
Interesting.
That's probably why it's free. That's cheaper, $20 a month instead of a full thing. So it's kind of more of a subscription, like a Netflix kind of service, where it's like you don't actually ever have those games. But Landry had a question about this, and he said, Land. With the recent announcement of Nintendo Online launching in September of 2018, does that mean that Nintendo will be launching a flagship online title to coincide with their paid-for online platform? A soft launch is possible, but I think that this launch date for a Smash 4 port. I think this is the launch date for a Smash 4 port with some added characters like the Inklings, Springman, Ribbon Girl, and Rex/Pyro character combo in the same vein as Sheik and Zelda. What do you guys think?
Call of Duty Switch is what's going to be.
What?
That'd be so bad. God.
Well, so it makes sense. So with the online offering, it's kind of like you are paying to be able to play online. And I listened to, I think, Nintendo Voice Chat today on the podcast, and they said this, and it made sense. Like, to actually win people over to actually want to pay for this, why not launch Smash on the same time as this? That way everyone's like, well, yeah, I'm going to play Smash online.
Yeah.
And you said like you were thinking a fall release date for Smash Bros, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's going to be this year.
Yeah.
I think it's ready. I think they're just holding it. I mean, I think it could have been put out already. But
Yeah, you know that they're like in the offices right now. They're already playing it on Switch.
it's free money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're waiting for it. But could this possibly be? Do we know if we're getting Pokemon this year? I mean, could some kind of online battling or trading, or even some kind of MMO, not MMO, but some kind of online interaction?
I mean, like think about like getting like the Wii channel back, or Me channel, like getting some sort of like weird shop thing.
Well, like
the
Miiverse
marketplace or
something?
Miiverse. Like they probably wouldn't bring Miiverse back, but
I hope
it'd
not.
be interesting.
Isn't Skyrim coming to the Switch? I mean,
It
I
is.
know that they're just like steamrolling that horse till it's just fucking dead as shit, man. I mean,
I don't
they're
even-
gonna 29 minutes. By the way.
29 minutes, thank you.
But my God, they're gonna beat that game until the ground. Anyways,
It makes money, it sells.
yeah, I know, but my goodness, Elder Scrolls 6, please Bethesda, for the love of everything.
That would be so great. Oh, Matt, where'd you get that Crooked Light from?
Oh, I found it.
Oh, wow.
Sig.
So
Oh my God,
I'm not sure. To answer your question, Landy, though, like it very much could be what Smash 4 launches with, or the online service launches with, just because it would get people online. The only other thing I could think of would be just like a cool like virtual console slew of games. Like if they brought like some GameCube titles like Mario Sunshine or something like that.
True. Yeah.
For online play.
Yeah. It's got to have some kind of multiplayer aspect, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, it could be virtual console titles like Bomberman Online
Yeah.
or something like that. But I mean, I think you're right on with the added characters, though.
Yeah,
I
well-
think they're definitely going to add a few, just like they did in Mario Kart.
And people are going to pay for it too. So like like Smash 4 is not going to launch for free. Like it'll launch alongside with the online service. So like people will have to pay $60 or whatever it is for Smash 4 for the Switch. But then also the online service will be with that as well. So you're dropping about $80 in 1 month just to be able to play Smash 4 online again. Whereas on Wii U it was free.
Dang,
Something to think about.
that is.
But you're getting more characters, maybe. The more characters is an interesting thing too. Like all the ARMS characters, like they're kind of that makes sense for Switch.
And it could even be like skins of the same character.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, skins. All right, so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about that. In terms of Prime 4 and Pokemon, I do think that we have a better chance of seeing Pokemon this year than Prime 4.
Yeah. Because it's going to be the greatest game ever made, so it takes time.
Yeah, and Pokemon would definitely be at the end of like the year. Like it'd be like we would not see it until the very, very end of like
holiday,
this year. Yeah,
Christmas.
December maybe.
What would be like the ideal Pokemon game at this point? Like what would get you guys pants rattling?
Well, it'd be the same thing as what you've played in the past
Right.
on like Game Boy.
But there's been so many versions of that. Like what would really kind of like
I think a
tickle your
complete.
tenderloins?
So we talked about
Wait,
this.
what did you say?
Tickle your tenderloins?
Tickle your grundle?
No. Come on. Sorry.
So
Landry, sorry, dude.
so we
Or
talked about this on one of our
do that.
podcasts. If you listen to our podcast,
I don't.
Eric,
Wait, we did?
we said, well, for us, it was like a fully 3D realized Pokemon
Yeah,
game.
completely visually overhauled.
Because it's always been a top-down game where you're just looking down and like it's still sprite-based. Like if the Pokemon looked kind of like they did in Pokemon Stadium, and you were just going through these towns and like they actually looked like full-size.
It could be like Monster Hunter, but with good mechanics.
What if it was PUBG but with Pokemon? So like you're
You're murdering Pokemon.
No, you're
50 people drop
land
into
in
an
the
island,
world
you
and you're
pick up
hunting for
God
Pokemon.
almighty.
1v100,
Yeah,
and you kill all the Pokemon.
No. You are landing. It's same 100 people, and what you're doing is instead of finding weapons, you're trying to find Pokemon.
And then you battle each other.
Dude, that'd
And
be
you
so
fight each other.
gangster.
So like, you could get killed by a Charizard unless you had Pokemon to defend you.
Or
You can have that one.
whoever
Whoever wants to make that, you can have it for free. Just
What-
make it.
What I'm thinking is, you drop it into the world.
Yes.
You land where you want to land. It's like I want to catch water Pokemon, so I'm gonna land by this waterfall.
Exactly.
And then you catch the water Pokemon, and you have like a time limit. You have a time limit of like when you can catch Pokemon, and then like timer ends, and then it's like a full battle royale against the other trainers of what Pokemon they caught in that time frame. Last man standing wins.
I like it. I mean, I think it could work. There's obviously some inherent
Some
I
balance
think,
issues we gotta figure out.
Yeah, of
level
course,
issues.
of course.
It could be though that. So I was just reading about DayZ. This might be
a good
another
game.
thing, Cameron, to tickle your tenderloins for the Xbox.
Oh, I love DayZ.
Is,
I'm excited about
DayZ
DayZ.
apparently is coming to Xbox
Okay, finally?
in the same way that
Your tenderloins.
PUBG has.
Oh, it definitely
and it's going to be
tickles.
like a game preview. It won't be a
Okay.
full game.
Okay.
It'll be like, well, we're still, it's this BS way of
the online
sending out an
beta.
Wait,
unfinished
so
game and
PUBG is
saying, like,
not a full game right now?
No, it still has so many issues.
Really?
A lot
Yeah,
of,
well, issues, but it's
lot of
like,
stretching and like
as it should be, but it's got
pop-ins.
Well, so like, for example, the main issue I have with it right now is you'll be, especially if you're playing in more than solo. So if you're playing a 2-player or 4-player squad, it's 100% certain that one of you is going to lag out in the middle of the game. Now, what's great is you can get back into the game. Your character's still there as long as it doesn't die. But if you're driving a car and your buddy is next to you and you lag out, that car's still going.
Game over.
And if you,
Bye.
and unless you run into something or flip or whatever, like
you have no idea.
your character is,
Is, kablooey.
screwed. So it's like, anyway. But so
That's
another
so
tangent.
freaking funny.
But like DayZ, so DayZ unlike PUBG, you keep your equipment.
Okay.
Now, if you die in DayZ,
You die in
lose
real
that
life.
Equipment. You die in real life, yeah.
Die in real life.
But what if like there was an element to it where certain Pokemon you caught? Because what I thought about is like, well, how do you have enough time to evolve Pokemon? That's a whole part of Pokemon, right? What you do is Pokemon that you collect in the world, maybe it's like you get to choose 3, and you get to bring them out. But if they die in the game,
They're gone.
they're gone.
Yeah. You got to be careful who you bring in.
I do like that
So
permadeath.
you choose like 3 Pokemon to bring in. If you lose them, you lose them.
Wow.
Hey,
I mean, come on.
Hey, we're going to timestamp this, so if you
yeah,
want
it's
to skip
good.
over this whole
yeah,
thing.
you can just skip over Eric's rant about this thing.
No,
Yeah, you started this whole night with I don't know how much I'm gonna have to stay tonight, and then you won't shut up.
Well,
Yeah.
none of this is relevant to what we were going to talk about. That's the issue.
Speaking of cars in
Relevancy.
PUBG, though,
Oh.
Nintendo also just tweeted randomly, Mario
To you?
Kart is coming out on mobile. And it's called Mario Kart Tour, and it's coming in March, March 2019.
2019.
That's
Good
just a
gosh.
very, very loose date. End of the
So
fiscal
what?
year.
That's
yeah.
not even guaranteed.
End of the fiscal year.
2019.
Yeah, but I
You're
just
gonna
don't.
have to delete everything off of your iPhone to install this game. It will be Mario Kart or nothing.
But like, and I heard this. I was like, "That's great. I'm awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited." But like, is it tilt controls? Is it?
Have you played Crazy Taxi on
No.
on the iPhone? I downloaded that, and it's rough. It's fun, but it's utter chaos. You can barely control it.
Man,
It's pretty fun.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy
What
Taxi
remember we were
Taxi.
talking about that game that was supposed to come out that looked amazing
on phones?
on iPhone? We had said that there was like a developer now making like really beautiful games. It was called like Sky or something like
yeah.
that.
Well,
The guy from Journey.
Journey, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
He's making, and it is coming for mobile still.
Okay.
Yeah,
Still coming out.
It's
yeah,
not
still
out
coming
yet.
out, not out yet.
Okay.
And he actually had an interview
It's like
recently where
Apple
he talked
exclusive,
about it.
right?
It actually might be. I think,
I
it
think
might
it's
be
Apple
like
exclusive.
Apple or
you can,
mobile
like, play
exclusive.
it on your Apple TV and like play it on
Interesting.
weird stuff.
Yeah, and like he recently mentioned, this is a rabbit hole, but he mentioned that the
Fuck
game.
you, Android.
All right, what's timestamp on that?
3624.
36:24.
Wait, I thought we could curse on this podcast.
fuck? No, we can't.
I believe him out. Oh my gosh.
Dude, you go back and forth. It's like sometimes it's
It has never, like, literally since like episode like 10, I've just tried to cut out
Because
cursing.
his younger, what is he?
My nephew.
Nephew.
There's
thank you.
one.
Yeah.
He's building this whole podcast. No cursing
Okay.
because
Look,
of
I'm keeping those kids
Truman.
in mind, and it widens your viewership if you aren't cursing as much because parents
have
are like,
stats on
"Oh,
that?"
yay!" I just read a lot. I read a lot.
I cussed one time. so
you're
far.
you're a mess. All right.
Yeah, I'm on 3.
And the last Nintendo announcement, and this is the last part of the news segment, Illumination is teaming up with Nintendo for a new Mario film. So the people that made like Despicable Me, Minions,
Yeah, they're keeping like the actual artwork. So
Secret
that
Life
could
of
be-
Pets.
See, I think they should get the guys that did the Mario from the original Mario.
Oh no.
Get them back.
No, it
Do
was
some weird.
Have we watched that yet?
the 90. I thought about that today. I want to get like one of the posters from that movie because like it was a train wreck. I heard like it was a horrible.
There's already
movie. No.
wait.
It
There's
is-
already a Mario movie out.
It is.
It's real life.
disgustingly
It's
trippy.
it's real life. It is weird, man. It is messed up. But they
Talk
that's
about how like.
it's like 93. I think was what it made.
So you
What it
know
made?
you know how like there's this remake documentary of The Room, right? Like they need to make a remake documentary about how this movie was made because it goes so far beyond the original material and it is creepy. It's not a kid's movie.
It's like a nightmarish. It's like a
Yes.
bad trip,
Yeah,
right? It's just
it's
horrible.
like Tim Burton got his hands on this and then took a dump on this.
The
while
actual
he was
film.
making it.
So
But we should definitely watch it.
I
We
want
should
to.
watch that.
I'm humped.
highly
It's
you
got-
were highly amused.
It's tickling your
Tickling
tickling.
your tenderloins?
It's
I
got
want to see it.
what's his name? Who's Mario?
I know you're talking about.
I'm
He's a
gonna look it
famous
up.
guy. Yeah, it's
Tintin.
real
Oh
weird.
my gosh.
So, anyways, Chris Meledandri, the guy who was in charge of producing Despicable Me, is co-producing with Miyamoto. So that's pretty gangster.
That sounds pretty cool,
Yeah.
actually.
And I mean, Despicable Me was really great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like that movie, and I have full confidence that they can produce a visually good-looking movie. I just don't know what they're gonna do if it's not like Mario can't talk. Like, so what are they gonna?
What are you giggling about, Eric?
What are they gonna do with that?
Well, you can talk a little bit with what's his Charles
Martinet.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Before we get too far away from this topic, because this is important.
Yeah, this is important.
It's got a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
So You know,
Can only go up from there.
It's got a 4 out of 10 on IMDb.
A little more generous on IMDb.
Okay, so Bob Hoskins though is
Bob
Mario.
Hoskins. What's the name of the movie?
It's called Super Mario Bros.
And
1993.
oh gosh.
How did this get made?
Let me just show you. This guy is technically
Bowser.
This is technically Bowser.
He's got some spiky hair.
What?
That's technically
Why don't we
Bowser.
get a little
Oh yeah,
zoom?
the tiny
And
heads.
Look at the little tiny.
Those are
Cameron.
Goombas.
Are those Goombas or what are those?
Wow.
Are those the
And
turtles?
That's technically
What?
Bowser.
Yeah,
That's
we
horrible.
definitely need
That
to watch
guy.
this. We definitely need to watch this.
It is.
These dudes look so stupid.
Oh man.
That is great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So check that out, Super Mario Bros. 93.
You're welcome.
I really would love to do a podcast about that.
Yeah,
we could do
sure.
like
Just
a
mo-
live tuning in.
A
you know?
live. We could just commentary
along.
while we're watching. Like, wow, this is horrendous.
I'm in for that because it's an experience.
All right, well, we're gonna jump into the main topic, which is games of 2017. We will be right back. And we're back. We did not just mess up the previous recording because
Wasn't my fault.
these dinguses over here.
Did not say any words.
But we're going to be talking about the games of 2017, the ones, our favorite ones. And we actually changed this a little bit to games that we still want to play, that we missed, and then also top 5 letdowns, or just letdowns in general. Not all of us have 5 letdowns because we didn't really play that many games. So, first up, Cameron, what were your top 5 favorite games 2017?
Okay, real quick. Breath of the Wild was number 1. No
Good,
doubt.
good,
Legend
good.
of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Who else? Wait, do you have that as yours number 1? Yeah, that's my number 1, so
Number
we can all
one,
skip that
okay.
one. That's good.
Destiny 2, just because we got so inundated into it.
That was actually not
Really-
on mine,
really-
but yeah.
Really got into it. SimCity Build It, just because I spent a ridiculous amount of time on my phone playing that.
Will you describe
stupid,
that game to me? I know you're in the middle of your thing, but will you describe that?
I mean, it's really just like something you need to experience yourself.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Sims, but you're
It's
building
on
a
your
little
phone?
Yeah, it's on your phone.
How much is it?
anything you've
It's free, but then you have to pay for other things.
Oh,
which
they
is
got the in-game
Yeah, that's where you get
purchases.
caught up, and that's why I had.
They're
to
like,
delete
we're
it.
not going to charge you $5 for a game. We're going to make you spend $100
like
in a
100
month.
at least.
But dude, Golf Clash is that way too.
Yeah, but you can play that game. Can you play that game without in-game purchases? Can you play Sims without
You
in-game?
can, but it's hard. It's
Ooh.
very hard.
All right.
Golf Clash is kind of
continue,
hard too. It takes a
continue.
while.
No, I'm
Going
good.
on, Ghost Recon Wildlands, which we both got
We
into.
gotta
that.
get back. Oh, I already sold mine, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
And then Mario Odyssey. Those were my top. I guess that's top 5.
Very
so I
nice.
didn't really have anything beyond that.
That's a good list, though.
Yeah. No,
Did
I
you
like
see
it.
that
That's a
they
quality
made
list.
I was really bummed when I saw this
The
because this
Predator?
looked like fun. The Predator,
Did look like cool.
DLC.
it looked like fun.
Ah.
It looked like fun.
cool. Looked cool.
Matt, top 5.
So I got Zelda as number 1, Breath of the Wild.
Of course.
Mario Odyssey number 2.
Okay. Okay.
Still super fun game. Number 3, I got Metroid: Samus Returns for 3DS. Fantastic game. Beyond that, I'm still not sure what my number 4 is, but I would put on there What Remains of Edith Finch.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fantastic game.
I love that movie.
Super interesting story game. It's really short. It's $20 right now on PS4. If it ever goes on sale, buy it without hesitation. It is one of the most interesting story-based games that I've ever played.
Yeah. Eric's writing down.
No.
Wrote down Dirt 4.
You should.
And then where does Mario Rabbids line up on your list?
I would throw it on there as well. I mean, I'm really struggling to see.
To narrow down to 5.
Well, no, I mean, I wish there was a PS4 game. I think if I would have played Horizon Zero Dawn, it was on my list all year, but okay, maybe not.
You didn't miss it.
But
Ooh.
it may have made it up there. But yeah, I don't know. Just very Nintendo heavy. Might be just because I'm hyped about the Switch, but I'm still playing games from 2016 on my PS4,
Yeah.
which is a good thing.
I'm trying to think of like games that I actually got on my PlayStation this year. And
Destiny.
I really, yeah, Destiny 2 is the only one I think that I got this year, or 2017.
That's all I can think of.
I got Pyre, which I like a lot.
Yeah. It was for me. It was more like small games, like smaller, just online games or ones I downloaded. Interesting. So mine is also number 1 is Breath of the Wild, of course. Number 2 though, Persona 5. This is a JRPG that a lot of people probably have heard of, but it just like it's by all stands not a game that I would actually like. But the characters and the way this game is like set up, it's just like it's really really well done, very artistically, like just impressive.
Have you played any of the ones before?
No.
Okay, but and it goes all the way back to like the PS1, right, or PS2?
PS1, PS2, and I had the one on Vita, Persona 4 Golden, but this was my first time playing any of those games. And I never really messed around with the one on Vita. I just couldn't get into it. But this one was just so
I've
good.
heard great things.
So good. Super Mario Odyssey, number 3. Didn't love it as much as everyone else did. Like some people put this above Breath of the Wild, and I just had such a better experience with Breath of the Wild that I just can't do it with Odyssey. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This game caught me by surprise. It came just at a time to where I was still hankering for Mario, and Odyssey hadn't come out yet, and I really enjoyed it. I like the aspect of like just a tactical shooter, and you know, it was just such a weird mashup that I didn't like when I first saw it, but it was actually really fun and
really well made. The quality of it is what I was really pleased with.
Oh yeah.
So where does ARMS fit on this list?
Well, ARMS is actually one of my letdowns, so, so you can check that later.
All right, number 5
Eric?
though.
And then Resident Evil 7 was my 5.
Really?
I had a really good time playing that game up until the very end. It gets kind of away from what it was trying to do, and honestly, I don't even know if Resident. Well, actually, it came out in like I think January or February this 2017. But Josh and I played through that, so I probably have better memories too of just kind of passing the controller back and forth with him. Yeah. I don't know if it'd been the same if I was not playing with him, but nonetheless, those are my 5.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us.
Rick,
I was laughing because you're ending this on me, and all I've got is my top 5 is PUBG. But I mean, I have played technically 3 games this year, which is maddening to think about.
Rocket League.
Okay, well 4, but okay, yeah, 4 games. So I've played Rocket League. I've played because I don't know. I think we stopped playing. Cameron and I stopped playing. Well, no,
Rainbow Six.
So if we
Ghost Recon would have
so
been
was
the last
Wildlands
game
a 2017 release?
Yeah.
Okay, well that one's on there. I wish we had played that more. So I got Wildlands.
I love that
Wildlands
game.
Could have been better. It was good. It definitely was not.
So not your favorite game.
Well, it's again the only new game I played. And then Sea of Thieves, I think, is going to be really good, but that's not technically a.
That's 2018.
It's going to be a 2018 release. Oh, I guess technically I played the beta in 2018 too, so that doesn't count.
You played Overwatch once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Destiny, I've got Overwatch.
Was Overwatch a 27? No, it's
No,
been longer than that.
Yeah, it's 2016.
Anyway, there you go. Yeah, PUBG's been a lot of fun. It's taken up most of the time when I'm playing video games. So,
And there you go, man.
you know,
That's
maybe-
okay.
Maybe I'll develop the PUBG
Pokemon game.
mod the Pokemon mod for PUBG.
Yeah, and if you make it big, man.
Well, that's all PUBG is it was a
It's
mod.
a mod.
Yeah, so you could be the
it's
next
Player
PUBG.
Unknown's mod of
Player
Chad, help us out.
Player Unknown's Pokemon.
No, it's gonna be my gamer tag on Xbox is Hobo Ox. Hobo AUX. So hit me up. Landry, let's play some Xbox.
I think it sounds like he has Nintendo.
Bro. Dude.
But he might. So I don't know.
All right, so regrets.
So yeah,
Regrets.
we'll change this from
Regrets.
regrets to
Well,
games.
hold on. I thought we were going
Letdowns.
No, I thought we were jumping in this.
Yeah. So games that we still
Oh, I
wish,
see.
games we still would like to play that we didn't get to in 2017.
I got a big list
All
for
right.
that. Let me start.
But
Okay.
we're not doing the letdowns.
We'll do letdowns last.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
So we'll
Hold on,
we'll
Cameron.
we'll
God,
snake back.
shut
We'll snake
up.
back from Eric.
All right, there's this little game called Dirt 4. Wish I had played that. Game called Little Nightmares. That looks cool. Should have played that. Evil Within 2. I always wanted to download that and play that. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Assassins.
Looks cool. I might play that.
Yeah.
Destiny
Not gonna
2.
happen.
I've got it, but it still is like a wish I play it because I don't play it.
Dude, if you really want to play that game, I will jump back in with you with a new character so we can just go through it.
I
and,
mean,
like,
I'm literally
the
on
base
the
level.
first. You know where I'm at. I'm
Dang,
on the first thing.
that's real friendship right
yeah,
there.
that's commitment.
Because it really
Start
is
all the
like
way back
it is a game that is so much better with
Yeah.
people.
Well, that's what I was gonna say about
Rainbow Six
Rainbow
or
Six. Is
Wastelands.
like if you're not
Yeah,
playing
if you're not playing with other people, it's just
It's not good.
maddening.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I want to try out. Does Josh still have that game, or did he download it?
I believe he still has it. Yeah.
Did he get a physical copy?
Mhm.
I think Josh didn't like the game.
He did like it.
Okay,
And
he
I
liked it. You
disagreed with
didn't
him.
like it.
Yeah, well,
Cameron did
Okay,
not like
we'll
it.
get into that.
We'll come back to that.
Prey looked cool, and Zelda. Watching you guys play that looks fun. So
I remember you sat down for a little bit and you're like, the one thing you noticed, and I thought it was interesting, you're like, the art direction of this game is actually phenomenal. Like
absolutely.
you sat down and you watched it.
yeah,
and you're like,
it's a extremely well put together game in terms of the amount of detail. Because you look at that game and you're like, oh, it's not realistic, but in a game that has a very specific art style, beautiful. Anyway,
I agree.
Yeah.
hey, that's my
Expert opinion.
that's my list.
Thanks, Rick.
Hashtag
Great. That was great.
tickle my tenderloins.
So for me, it was Horizon Zero Dawn. That was one I really wanted to play because everyone had said because Horizon came out and then I think Zelda came out like a month later, and so everyone that had said everyone needs to try and play Horizon because it released so close to Zelda. Like a lot of people were like, these two are very similar in the sense of how you explore and do all this stuff and. It feels constrained compared to Zelda. That sounded awful. Oh, gosh.
You guys can hear that?
You all right?
All the way over here.
So, but I still want to play that game, and I know if Josh has it, I'll probably try to snag that from him before you get it.
No.
But Metroid Samus Returns. I've talked about it like 6 times on every single podcast, basically. But
Dude, I might just give you my DS.
I just want to play it, just to experience it and just beat it. I'm not gonna
What a
mess around with
generous
collecting
soul.
it.
It's great.
Uncharted Lost Legacy. I remember when I first got my PlayStation, I played through the collection of Uncharted, and then I played 4 when it came out. And so I really like those games. I really think they're great.
Uncharted is great.
And this one, I think everyone had said it was awesome as well. I just, for some reason, I had sold my copy of Uncharted 4 at this point, and you don't need Uncharted 4 to go play this game, but I was just like, I don't know if I want to go back to that yet. So if this is like on sale or if we see it down the road where it's just like a thing where you can just pick up, I'll probably snag it.
Which makes me think that we should be getting Last of Us 2 this year, right?
Yes, I believe so. I believe Last of Us 2 will be coming out this year, so I'm pretty excited about that as well.
Dude, Red Dead Redemption got pushed
Yeah,
Yeah.
till next year.
till next year.
Yeah,
Oh,
2019.
classic. No. October, right?
I
No,
thought
no, because it
October.
was coming out. It was coming out in October. It's getting pushed till
Again?
late 2019. I'm pretty sure.
What?
No, I'm pretty sure it's October 26th.
Because I
When it got pushed. to?
2018.
I just shared the official announcement from Rockstar.
It was
the other
earlier
day.
this year, and then they pushed it to October later this year.
Yeah,
Well, still.
Rockstar at 11 o'clock on Thursday said Red Dead Redemption 2 coming October 26, 2018.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
So
Still-
still this
we're,
year.
We're in a new year.
Still, I guess we were supposed to get it this summer.
Yeah, earlier. Yeah,
That's fine. I mean, it's going to be worth the wait.
those screenshots in that game look so good, man. They look so good.
First comment on this is can't wait for can't wait for flying chrome horses with homing missiles.
Because of GTA Online. Yeah.
Oh man.
And then Neo for me, because I was so impressed by Bloodborne and that whole style of a Souls game. And everyone said that like if you liked Bloodborne or Dark Souls, this was a game that you should try out. It's brutally hard, but it's just so rewarding when you beat these bosses, and it's awesome. Because it was kind of a sleeper hit because like everyone saw it come out, and it's Neo, and it is very Japanese like influence. So everyone's like, I don't know what to think of this game, but it was great. And then Okami HD. I never played the original, and that's a game I want to check out still. Oh yeah, the little
Dude,
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
know what you're talking about.
It's just like a Zelda game. I mean, it's amazing with probably better writing and better story.
And you write
but-
kanji.
Well, no, I just like the story and the characters in it are more animated than you see in Zelda. Zelda, it's pretty 2D.
Yeah.
You know, from a
Hello.
character.
But
Yeah.
they don't actually say anything.
Yeah. But these characters, like, they're witty and there's just some funny moments.
Except for Zelda, who's Link.
Oh gosh. Did you switch it to Japanese yet?
blood moon rises once again. I have not yet. I'm sorry.
That's the way to do it. Oh yeah. Also, pro tip for everyone listening.
Switch
on-
to
Yeah,
Japanese.
Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can switch the language on the home screen, and that way you can listen to it in Japanese with subtitles. And
Why would you do that?
Well, the voice acting is a lot better in Japanese.
But you can't understand what they're
the
saying.
English.
Right,
yeah,
but you
the
have
English
subtitles.
voice acting is pretty rough.
I mean, it's like, I guess it depends if you're the kind of person that watches anime with English dubs.
I mean, I do.
English dubs.
yeah.
What?
I do watch like DBZ and
Yeah.
a couple of things with like English dubs.
I can't stand watching anything with
Subtitles?
Yeah.
Oh, I like
I
that.
don't like reading.
but like Miyazaki films, I will watch because they usually get really
You
good
don't have
voice.
an option.
They get like really good voice actors.
For English?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. And
Yeah.
those are like major theatrical releases.
Yeah.
But I just feel like.
You wouldn't call Dragon Ball Z a major television release?
Well, I mean, it was ported to America.
of all Saiyans.
No, that's
Yo.
fine. Those are iconic
Okay.
English voices.
Piccolo.
I don't watch anime other than Dragon Ball Z.
Wow, you're cool, Eric.
Dude, you don't watch Naruto?
Naruto?
Attack on Titan.
No,
I've
that
heard it's
looks
very good.
freaky.
I've heard it's very good
It's
though.
very good.
You know what I really want to watch?
Matt's top
Super
5
Mario
games.
Bros. Matt, go.
Top 5? What?
Some of
What
your
were your
games that
letdowns
you would
or
like to
missed?
still catch.
Um,
Oh,
honestly,
that's a pretty good list over there.
I honestly played pretty much everything I wanted to play. I wouldn't mind checking out Horizon Zero Dawn, but other than that, I mean, I played all the Switch games I wanted to play, and really there was nothing on PS4. I still go back and play a lot of old games, but yeah, I mean, I played what I wanted to play.
It's the beauty of the world we're in right now, where
Let me ask you
there's so
something.
many games coming out, and you're like, you have to kind of pick and choose, or else you're never going to finish
Well,
anything.
let me ask you something.
What's up,
Let
Eric?
me ask you something.
What's up? What's up, Eric?
Do you? Maybe it's just because I'm not aware of it. I feel like there was more major titles coming out when we were younger. Is this true or not true? Because I feel like right now your list is full of indies. Like you played a lot of indie games, and that's kind of
those
like the way
were
to
the
go now.
first games. We were the first people to play the first of those games, so that's why it was such a benchmark for us back in the day.
But I feel like we had multiple major titles, which I guess we still do
Because we
Maybe
grew
it's
up
because
in
we
it.
played
we're growing
the
up
major
in
titles
this.
longer. So like when Halo came out, like that's all people played was Halo,
Right.
right? And then or if like
It was just I
Those are
think
landmark games.
I think it was just major titles is all that was coming out. Honestly, like major titles and
that's
like
what it
AAA. Like there was no middleman making these indie games. It was literally just
unless you were on like PC.
AAA or like these bigger guys like THQ and a bunch of these like middle tier developers like Midway Games and stuff like
Right.
that. So there wasn't this slew of games you could play where like sometimes a small studio like Edith Finch can make like a really really good game. It's like, oh wow, I guess I should check that one out.
Yeah, I mean it's a good time for indies, but I think what you're saying is I think the wow factor was bigger back then, and we've seen so much already that we kind of move on quicker from these big titles. Well, because people
That's
aren't
true.
innovating as
That's
much as
true.
they used to. You know, the first time Halo came out, that's amazing, but now we're on Halo 5 and they're kind of getting lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting-
Well, it's a monumental amount of work, but it's like, but it's,
They don't do nothing.
but it's like,
It's easy to make a video. I just made up a video game 5 seconds ago. Okay.
but it is extremely hard to differentiate your game from others, especially like when graphically
I
it
just
looks
did it
the
5
same
seconds
almost.
ago, though.
But I'm saying like graphically they look the same.
Who cares?
Back in the day, it was like, oh, look how good this game looks. Like when the 64 came out, like everyone was like impressed by the graphics, and then
pretty impressive.
PS2 came out. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, look at this! Look at this Tokyo Drift looking game over here.
Siphon filter.
Yeah, Siphon Filter.
Dude, that
Great
game
game.
was
PS1?
revolutionary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like now we're at a point where, yeah, again, it's either they jump to 4K, which we'll probably see in this next console generation, but again, it's not going to be. I mean, none of us have 4K consoles except for
You.
Me.
you have it, right? The X.
Scorpio.
You don't have the X, do you?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
It's
Yeah.
the same
You have
thing.
the S.
Yeah.
Xbox
X.
One S. That's,
Yeah.
There
The
is
black
no
one,
X.
You have the X.
The
There is-
Scorpio.
I don't think there is an X.
Yeah, there is.
Scorpio, whatever you wanna
Xbox
call it.
It's the
One
same
X.
thing.
Yeah.
It's the same freaking
Scorpio
thing.
was the code
X,
name.
not S.
Yeah, so you have X.
X.
Okay.
The black one.
I did not know that. So
Well, I
you
guess
have
technically
so
there's a black S one.
so you have a 4K capable machine then, without
Dude.
without a 4K TV.
I have a 4K TV too.
No, you do not.
He has
I do-
nothing to
I
spend his
do.
money on.
What the heck, man?
What?
Why don't you let me come over and look at it, just see what it looks like?
I will say
I've never seen 4K before.
when I went from I
4K
didn't
HDR.
think it was anything special. And when I went from playing PUBG on the S, so here's what happened. I got the S,
Okay.
and then it was buzzing. The fan was buzzing. I took it back to Best Buy.
It was buzzing.
I took it back.
Couldn't have
I
that.
took it back to. Okay, it was loud. It was obvious that it was an issue. So I took it back to Best Buy. I was like, "Hey, I just want to trade it in for an S." They're like, "We don't even sell the S's anymore. All we have is the X's. That was the last model."
What?
And I was like, "They're like, we can order you one." And I was like, fuck that. I want to play PUBG now.
Oh my goodness.
So,
man,
I was-
hour 2 minutes.
So Best Buy got me to buy $200 more of the console.
and a 4K TV.
Yeah. Well, I
In
didn't,
the same night.
I didn't buy that from Best Buy.
I think you're trying to just justify your purchases.
Well, obviously.
I think this whole story is made up.
I will take a picture of
You were just
myself.
like, I want the 4K.
Well, why can't we come
instead.
over, Eric?
You can.
There's not a lot
guys
of
don't
room.
ever wanna come
There's
over to
really
my
not a
house?
lot of room.
You guys can
Whatever.
lay in my bed. I mean, that's basically what the room is.
All right, Cameron. Top
What
5
are we
games you
doing?
still want to check out.
Still want to check out. Okay. Actually, it's a lot similar to Eric's list.
Wow. Stole from
Assassin's Creed Origins.
'Kay.
Just because I thought that looked cool, and
Heard good things.
but I probably
Sort
will
of.
never play it honestly. Wolfenstein 2, whenever it drops down
Yeah.
to a
I've
reasonable
heard
price,
that game is balls hard.
I will definitely pick it up. I did not know that.
Balls hard.
Everybody say that. Resident Evil Biohazard. I still want to play.
You can borrow my cop.
I was going to say that whenever I brought it up. PUBG. We've been talking about it. Obviously, still want to play that.
Maybe I'll just like I said, I'll just bring it over and get your fix. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'll just
be down.
buy one because it's tax refund season, and I
Oh.
just
Hey,
cash out the yin yang.
Scorpio's solid.
Man, we had
It's a
to
solid
pay
machine.
money in taxes. Continue. Sorry.
It's because you're idiots. Prey 2 and Niho. But I say
Neo.
Prey 2. Niho.
It's not Niho.
Is it?
It's
What is it called?
NIOH. Neo.
Neo.
Neo. Yeah.
Neo.
Just Neo.
Prey because I played the original Prey. I never got to beat it because back in the day, whenever you could go to Movie Gallery Blockbuster, rent games, there was like 2 or 3 times that I rented Prey in a row and never got to beat it. And I always thought that game was so cool.
The
so.
bane of any child growing up in the 90s was renting video games and not being able to beat them in time.
Did Doom come out last year?
Yes.
I want to
And
play
then Doom
that.
on Switch.
Oh, Doom.
I'll probably
Doom's
play
alright.
on PS4.
Yeah, probably.
Was
a
that-
I
little-
played,
It was
the,
alright.
Probably a
I
little
played the
better.
demo. I was like,
Doom 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
visually it's cool. I just don't care about it. You know, I didn't care about
All the
IP,
blood and
so
just murdering a bunch of people.
that would-
and
Did you ever
hell.
play Doom 3?
I never care about Doom ever.
Because Doom 3 is a just phenomenal game. I mean, truly one of my favorite games. ever.
Phenomenal.
Anyway,
All right, well, this is the fun part. Top 5 letdowns. So, Cameron, we'll start with you again. We'll snake back.
All right.
don't end it on me.
Horizon Zero Dawn is my first letdown.
Oh.
I've been wanting to hear you talk about why you hate this.
Super excited.
So
to
why is
play-
this a
play
letdown?
That game.
Tell us.
I don't know. I just the story, the environment, it really did not capture me. It was not. I felt like it was going to be super predictable because the first like 30 minutes of the game, I just could guess everything that was going to happen.
Right.
Next. And it was not exciting. And I was looking forward to it because these are the guys that did Killzone, and I love Killzone. I loved Guerrilla Games for Killzone. But yeah, I the story just didn't grasp me. And then whenever I started playing, started doing the hunting and everything, it just wasn't. I didn't think it was fun. I found no entertainment in the hunting whatsoever.
I
It was
have
kind
heard-
of repetitive, and it got really it got old really fast. And I even fought some of the I got several ways into it and fought some of the more diverse monsters.
I've heard like the opposite of what you just said though. Like
Yeah.
everyone has said that like the game loop is awesome.
That was
That's
just me.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
That
But
was
everyone
me.
has
I
their own
didn't like
opinions.
it. It didn't capture me.
That's awesome.
I was really looking forward to the post-apocalyptic world and like figuring all that stuff out, but
Didn't care. Didn't care enough to finish it up.
It didn't make me care about it.
That's fair.
My second one is Call of Duty World War II. I was
Yeah.
super excited. I was super hoping that Call of Duty was going to come back.
Did not.
I
Wasn't
think I
good.
played it twice, and just
It wasn't good.
Did it just feel kind of like every other Call of Duty where you get
something-
in,
just a new fresh coat of paint, and that's
Yeah.
all it is.
but with just old school mechanics where you're not jetpacking around? Still
Yeah.
wasn't enough to really make it feel
Yeah,
interesting.
they did. I didn't think they. I thought they were going to save themselves, and they didn't.
Did you try did you do like the campaign and the multiplayer or
Yeah.
okay?
Campaign wasn't that much fun either.
Interesting.
Battlefront 2, even though we didn't play it, it was a letdown because
Yeah.
of just the train wreck that EA made it into.
I think that's fair.
So many promises, so
I
much
feel
promise into it.
Yeah,
And
we all
then-
were excited about Battlefront 2 until we saw what happened. We were like, oh, this
Did you
sucks.
see that they're already like apparently
They're adding it back in.
Sales drop. Well, they still sold a lot of the game, but it dropped under what they wanted to sell.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, hey, you know how we took away in-game or whatever
Microtransactions.
Microtransactions. Now they're bringing it back real quick
Yeah.
because they're like, well, we didn't make enough money, so now we're gonna
Got to equal it out.
add this back in.
And that's the unfortunate side of business.
But
My
EA
last. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hopefully EA can get bought up and not have that anymore.
Yeah.
My last one is
Probably
For Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's forgotten about that game. I really have not heard
It was
anyone
so quick.
anything. I think it
So
just,
weird.
It got
died.
into like the competitive gaming scene there
Yeah.
for a little bit,
and then
but
just
you
died.
could really take advantage of some of the flaws of the actual gameplay. Like there would be people that could like own the game because they spammed this certain move, and it was so easily manipulated and just kind of killed the game. I think
Mm.
it looked beautiful though. I remember
Yeah.
playing first version.
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah. When
like-
that first came out, like the beta, I was like,
impressive.
this is
Looked
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Like the battle style had never been done before, where you had to like try and block or
Mhm,
and address an attack coming in, but
Yeah.
did not work. All right, man.
So for some letdowns, I got 3.
Okay.
I
It's
would
not too bad.
say probably my biggest letdown would be PSVR. Kind of wanted to see more out of that. People were kind of saying this is the year of VR. I think it had a strong
Yeah.
showing.
The
at a
year
lot
of
of shows.
Luigi.
But it's not. Maybe 2018 will be the year where some games come out for it that make it impossible to pass up.
Do you really want the VR?
VR is incredible. Yeah, that's the direction things are going. It's only a matter of time.
No, don't say that.
I believe it.
No.
Have
VR
you tried
sucks
VR?
so much though.
Have
It
you tried
does.
VR?
No.
You can't say it sucks if you haven't tried
But
it.
it doesn't make sense.
He's like, besides
I don't-
porn, I haven't.
I don't want that though.
You got to try it out. I mean,
I mean, I've like done the Childish Gambino thing. Like that's cool.
No, it's
But,
not like that
dude,
at all.
you got to try the PSVR, and then I tried the Vive too, which is absolutely incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's inevitable. It's the way things are going.
No.
Yeah.
It's intuitive in that
I want my giant 4K TVs. I don't want it right in front of my face though.
Dude, just as far as immersion and storytelling goes, I mean, it's the next step. It's incredible.
I just don't think it's gonna be enough for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna know I've got a big machine on my face, and it's gonna try and replicate, like you said, this immersion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna know, like I want like a Black Mirror style where I like
Why
like
do you
a-
want that?
like a
No one wants that.
like a trance, and
That's
I'm
exactly
playing a
what I want.
character that feels like I'm right here.
And if you die in the game, you die in real life.
sure, if
Yeah.
that's the risk that I have to take.
Let me
Worth
tell you.
it.
So that episode, it was
What
me
the
and-
playtest?
Yeah, me and
Yeah.
Logan and Davis and Rachel and Spencer and Mary Alice all sitting in the living room, and we were like, "Oh, what should we watch?" Spencer was like, "Oh, let's watch this episode of Black Mirror." Huge mistake.
Yeah.
It's
At the
terrifying.
End, the end of it, we were just all just like,
Yeah, that's kind of every episode of Black Mirror.
What the
It's
That
they're
one's
just
extra
wild.
scary though.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched that one by myself. It's
I had
terrifying.
nightmares about that.
so VR.
VR.
We're hoping for more.
Just give it a shot, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who has one that you
nobody.
Have you played?
Well,
it?
yeah, I played it with a friend a long time ago.
VR. What
Yeah.
did you play?
Just like I guess I don't know. It's like a tech demo that comes with it.
yeah, it was a
I
tech
mean,
demo. Had a few cool things you could do in
But I
it.
guess that's the thing. Is like
There's no real experiences that have sold it yet.
would you have wanted to play? Because the way that I see it going, this is the issue I have with it. Is like there's not going to be enough. Do you want to play Zelda first person that way?
Well, it depends. I think for storytelling purposes, I love these story games. That's why I put Edith Finch on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the potential to tell a story and really immerse you in a character.
Mm-hmm.
Not every game is built for VR, but I think there are certain games that will benefit greatly from
Well, I
it.
think that's fair, but I guess when you say this is the way we're going, like everything's going to be VR.
I gotcha.
That's what I don't.
Yeah.
I think that is the way. I think eventually that's what we'll get to.
But that's going to limit so much because you're
I
going to
think
have
we've
to
had a
build
podcast over this, Jake. I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, I think that's the
We'll
way
see.
it's going to go.
But I mean, even with a third person
I'm
game.
just telling you, you're wrong.
No, like even with a third
I'm
person
telling you, you don't
game
know
like
what you're
Zelda,
talking
it wouldn't
about.
be first person. You'd be third person in the VR looking over the shoulder of
And you would
Link.
have it would
Well, what-
it would look like you had a TV that was massive.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't look like a
No, it
TV.
wouldn't.
It would be like you were actually behind them.
Well, no. Well, yeah, but I'm saying like
Except you'll
that's-
know you're not because you'll have a big machine on your face.
Anyway, that's why
Yeah.
it was
Moving
a
on.
letdown.
Moving
There's not a seller for me yet.
Yeah.
I've
I'll
tried
tell you
it.
what, you didn't sell me at all.
I'm not trying to. I'm saying that's why it let me down. It let me down because
You
there
You
wasn't.
said give it a try, and I'm not going to do it.
why I let me down. You're not writing anything down there. There's nothing written there.
Hey, it's right here. It's
That's
right
why
here.
I wrote it down.
Sorry.
Anyway,
I'm not sorry.
number
Tickle my
two.
tenderloins with your
Number 2 letdown is No Man's Sky. Still letting me down.
I forgot that they
Was
came
that a
out this
2017
last
game?
year.
No.
That didn't come out in 2017.
Okay.
But the updates that came out this year,
Uh-huh.
still not enough.
Why
to
do
make
you
it fun.
still have that game?
Well, because I can't sell it. I mean, what am I
No one wants
supposed
to
do?
buy it. I had to package mine with 6 other games just to get rid of
Please, someone take this.
Probably added like 50 cents. It took away from the
it.
value.
Yeah,
of the package.
exactly. Like, well, I guess.
So yeah, the game was a letdown when I bought it, but I thought like, oh, they're gonna fix it.
Such a bad game.
They're gonna fix it, and
I had zero hope for that game as soon as we played it for like 10 minutes.
yeah, it's it's still not
That's how
not
I
super
felt
good.
about Call of Duty World War
Yeah.
II. Anyways, continue.
I
And
hate that
then-
instant regret.
Yeah, but I thought with all the patches, maybe they could make.
I was
something
so
decent.
thankful I didn't
That's
buy
my
the
experience with
digital version
Monster
of it.
Hunter right
Did
now.
you do that?
No, I
Instant
have
regret?
I have the
Instant
copy,
regret
but-
with Monster Hunter. I started it today.
Okay, well, we'll save that for next week's podcast.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the one after that,
Continue.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Number 3, I would say 1-2 Switch was disappointing to me.
Yeah.
I think like say what you want about the Wii U, terrible system, a very weak system, but Nintendo Land was one of the best pack-in games. Or yeah, it was pack-in, and
Yeah.
there was so much content and so much fun, and it taught you how to use the controllers.
Yep.
And it was super fun, and I still play it to this day, and it's super fun. But the Switch didn't have that pack-in game with
Here's
it, and,
why.
and there's still like a party game hole that's it's lacking right now.
Mario Party, please.
If they can, there hasn't been a good Mario Party game since GameCube.
Yeah, I know. Here's the hoping.
Here's hoping. So those are my 3.
Hey, I appreciate that. Eric,
I don't
Thanks
have
for
any.
letting me get through that. By
have-
the way, that was not easy.
you have no letdowns.
Friendly banter adds on to this show.
You have no letdowns.
I didn't play enough. Like I agree. Both of you guys, I wish VR had been better. I just love VR so much. No, I would say that like there's still things that are like haunting. No Man's Sky is such a haunting game of going what could have been, and
Battlefront 2 is haunting.
yeah, Battlefront 2 is such a disappointment. I mean, Battlefront 1 is such a disappointment. Like what they've now done. I don't know if they'll ever be able to recover now.
They're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna see another Battlefront for a very long time.
Probably not, especially with how poorly this one sold. If that's the way that they've gone, it's not. I don't even think they care if it's a bad game.
It didn't sell poorly. Like, let's just make that clear. Like, it still sold a ton of copies.
Sorry, it sold poorly to their
projections.
standards,
It did
yes.
not sell as well as they wanted to.
I think they still made
because of the outcry of microtransactions.
Yeah, they're just anyway. But yeah, it's kind of like. Let me see if I can think of some. You go ahead.
All right.
I doubt I'll have any because I
Didn't play as much. Didn't play much games. That's all right. That's all right.
sure.
So for me, biggest letdown was 1-2 Switch.
Oh, really?
I bought that game specifically because,
Let me see you one.
so
two, switch.
Hunter actually got it for me, and he asked me what I wanted, and I was like, 1-2 Switch. I was like, I think that'd be a fun game. People come over, I can kind of showcase the Switch, show them what it is.
Hunter, you are a disappointment throughout life.
No, Hunter, Hunter,
not
I
your
appreciate you
fault.
buying this game
Love
for me.
you, buddy.
And it actually it had moments of fun in it where we would the draw game where you would try to shoot the other person and that was good fun. But beyond that, a lot of games just were so lame. They fell so flat. You would play it once and be like, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was not a good game. So 1-2 Switch, NBA Playgrounds. This game, it had some things going for it, but it just felt like a crappy rendition of NBA Jam.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was excited when they first saw this, the game, like the trailer for it. We're like, okay, this will be cool. We're gonna have, an NBA Jam for the Switch, and I thought it'd be perfect for the Switch because essentially you can take it on the go,
Yeah.
Joy-Con, we can play together. It was not good. Just the balancing of it and the way characters played, it just felt very wrong. They didn't fine tune it. And it's funny to say that because you wouldn't think NBA Jam was fine tuned, but compared to this game, it was. So
Perfect.
that was a bummer. Rhyme was this artistic Wind Waker-esque looking game.
I'm glad you're saying this because I was
Looking at it?
super interested.
Yeah.
in it. It's not good.
No. I got this game on PlayStation, and I bought it before I even read reviews because I just thought it would be a game up my alley. It looked kind of like The Witness, kind of meets Journey and meets Zelda, where you travel this island and you're kind of solving puzzles and figuring out what's going on. There was some there were some cool elements to the game, but overall, like it was just very boring, like very open. A lot of what you were doing was just, I don't know, it never came together the way I wanted it to. So that was kind of a bummer for me. ARMS is interesting because I liked the game when it first came out, and it was interesting because the idea was novel. I don't know if you ever had that before, where you get a game and you're like, this is cool, like this is fun, I think I like this, and then you play it more and you're like, I don't know if I like this actually.
I mean, I had fun like the 1 or 2 times that we played it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about. Never mind, we can't talk about it.
Monster Hunter. Like you think it's gonna be a good game. You get in there, you play it for a little bit. You're like,
got good reviews.
this is cool. Like this is cool. And then you play it more and like, this isn't a good game. Like they got me on this one. They got me. So ARMS, I think for a Nintendo IP was fun and it was a good little experiment. But from a longevity standpoint, like,
and it shouldn't have been full price.
No.
But, yeah.
After playing that game for an hour or two, you've pretty much experienced all the game has to offer. You're like, all right, cool, just block, punch, and grab. That's all you can do, really. And then last one is Brawl Out, and you had a chance to play this a little bit. This is just a $20 investment. It wasn't a big investment for me, but it was, it came out this year, and it was on PC before this, but it's a Smash clone, like a Smash Bros. Clone. And it looked good.
Oh, that's what you guys were playing
yeah.
party.
It looked good, and I was like, this could be like a good little thing to hold me over until Smash comes out.
Right.
And it is like just a very cheaply made game. It's just, and unfortunately, it's a hard beast to live up to when you're comparing it to Smash,
Right.
which is just a
Smash 4
I
is
think
like
they knew
the
what they were
perfect
doing,
game.
though.
which is just a monster.
They knew that they'd make their $20 to hold you over or give you something to.
Yeah, $20 is fair. Like, I'm glad that it was $20 and not more than that. But
Like, there's no way they made that game going, this is going to be better than Smash.
Right,
Like, there's no way they made that.
I'm sure they had aspirations of that at one point.
I
And
doubt it.
Then they realized, like, we don't have the capability to make something that good.
Just making a quick buck.
Yeah.
Discount version.
So that was a bummer, and
do it.
it's just kind of it's just a sore on my Switch right now. I see every day. I'm like, why did I buy that?
Can you hide it or
Yeah,
something?
I could probably delete it.
So I don't have any letdowns, but my thought is similar to Matt's statement of being like, it's hard for me to get a game. Like, No Man's Sky was probably the one purchase that I've ever actually made with maybe not a game, but with a game in the last like 5 years when I actually know what I'm like wanting
Right.
and doing, where I took a risk, bought a game where I was like, I don't really know much about it. It doesn't have a lot of
Have a lot much to it.
have a lot much about things. But, there's no reviews. It's, pre-ordering games is often like a really hard thing for me to do because I'm like, I can't purchase a game that I'm not going to love.
Right.
So it's hard for me to get really hyped about a game. As soon as I guess there's pre-orders out for Red Dead Redemption, I'm gonna pre-order that. There's games that I will pre-order.
we know we're gonna love
regardless.
it.
Yeah, we all have those games that we're going to do that for.
Yeah, but I guess I don't take risk. I don't take risk in life. Is really what I'm getting at.
That's
So-
okay, man. And
So that's your regret.
that's financially, and
Wow.
that's
That's
but
my
you're
2017 regret is not taking enough risk.
but you're being financially responsible, so that's okay.
yeah, especially when I buy a Xbox for one game and a 4K
Xbox
TV.
One X and
Yeah.
4K TV.
Yeah, super responsible financially.
Well, so there you have it. The games in 2017. Just a quick run through list of all the stuff we talked about. It wasn't that
Just-
quick, yeah.
Just for an interesting side comment or
Please.
side question.
Please.
Could we think of really quick what our most hated game ever is?
Ever?
Ever? I could. I can tell you right now.
Don't say
Go
it's
ahead.
Monster Squash.
Castlevania Curse of Darkness. You've never heard of it. You never played it.
'Cause it was that
so
bad.
God awful. And I forget what game I
What system
chose.
is
this-
it for?
It was on Xbox, the original
Oh.
Xbox, and I forget what game I chose it over at GameStop. But it was one that I bought brand new, so obviously you can't return it. But I
Obviously.
got home and that game was absolute garbage. God, it was so freaking terrible. I think I chose it over a Splinter Cell game.
Oh,
that
man.
was great.
That hurts. That hurts.
It was painful. It was painful.
I can't think of any other than No Man's Sky. Like
That's
truly.
fair. That's fair.
I mean, that's such a real disappointment. I avoided buying Battlefront when you guys did, which I was really thankful for.
Yeah.
Because I was very skeptical about that game, especially when it started getting closer to the release date. I was like, oof. So sorry, but I avoided that one.
And I don't even think I hate No Man's Sky. I'm just sad about it.
You're just sad that it wasn't
It
more.
just, yeah, they just oversold it. and
Yeah,
that
it wasn't
sucks.
necessarily their fault too.
hate it.
PlayStation got behind them and
It's
was
such an
like,
expe-
"We're
like-
gonna do this."
Such an expensive game
For so little
nothing.
content, yeah.
You know what I mean? And just the lies, and I think that's how everybody feels about it, though.
It wasn't necessarily like it wasn't their fault. Like
it was. They lied.
like Sean.
Watch this guy lie. Have they even added multiplayer into it?
So like what people don't understand about game development though
I
is
don't
like
give a shit about
these-
the developers.
these things actually like were plans that they had set in place. These were like just like your Pokemon idea of like being able to catch this Pokemon. As soon as they start building it and realize that like certain resources have to be allocated for, they can't incorporate something. So like multiplayer was something that just got added this year, right?
They added some kind of multiplayer. I don't know what all.
But,
of it.
like,
it's not like it was promised.
they-
But even if you go back and look at the E3 trailer, it's a pre-rendered
different.
trailer that has like incredible creatures. Just the randomly generated.
You
stuff.
flying in with like your
Yeah, it looks
friends and stuff.
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks absolutely
Yeah.
incredible.
They definitely did not. They bit off more than they can chew in this situation.
Instead, you're just going from barren wasteland to barren wasteland, looking at the ugliest creatures you've ever seen.
See, you
What
sound, you
the
sound
hell
like,
is
like an
that?
apologist, and I just think like I don't think you're right. I think that they actually lied about a game that they did not. That they sold a different game than it. We should. I'm pretty sure there were people saying that it was false advertising. They were suing
oh yeah,
for
yeah.
this game.
And didn't they like not let any advanced copies go out for review? Like
don't
they
remember
weren't
that,
letting
but
people
I'm sure it
review the
I'm
game
not sure
before it
when.
comes out.
It just talk about a what do they call it? Rug from under your feet, man. It's just
You get it, and like, what the?
what do
This is
they
not at
call
all what I
that?
thought it was going to be.
I know.
Well, I didn't
I'm
buy
still
that
waiting on
game.
those. I'm still waiting on those updates though.
I didn't buy that game,
2018
so
is
I'm
gonna
not
be our
bitter
year.
about it.
I can't believe they're even still touching that game.
Hey, they might
crazy.
fix it. We'll see.
I don't
Who made
think.
that. Who made that game?
Hello game.
Hello
Yeah,
Games.
they'll never
Yeah.
make another game again, ever. No one will ever trust them.
I don't think I have a super hated game, but I remember really disliking the Minions, the Bowser
Oh,
something.
you played a Minions
No.
game.
Like, why would you buy
You know what
that?
I'm talking about? Where like it was like a puzzle game on like the DS.
I know what you're
Or
talking
even
about.
Game Boy Advance, where like you would try to control the robots to go down.
Yeah, is that
to
like the
thing.
DK and Mario games? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I bought that game thinking
not
it was
good.
gonna be something totally different. Didn't read anything. Like I mean, it was a long time ago, and I got it. And I was like, this game sucks. I was like, I don't like this game style at all. People liked it, but I was like, I don't like this game style at all. And I just sold it immediately. All right, well, so there you have it, guys. All that banter. How many? What's
Hour
our?
25.
Oh wow, this
Uh-oh.
not our longest.
Really? What's been the longest?
I think we're like an hour and 41.
Oh, let's keep it going. Let's beat that record.
So
Was I on
unfortunately,
that one?
probably. So
I
unfortunately,
don't have much to say.
so that is the end of our podcast. Remember, BitCast is a weekly podcast that posts usually weekly. I said that weekly. Podcast is a weekly podcast that covers most things, video games and pop culture. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
First
It was
time.
Good to be back.
First time with 4 here. Eric's here for, I don't know how many episodes it's been since you've been on one. I'll go back and
I've
check.
been on all of them.
I'll go back and
Not
check.
long enough.
Hey-o.
Got him.
Be sure to check out bitbloggers.com for all of our news announcements. And be sure to go to our Facebook page or Instagram to try and win a Super Nintendo Classic. This thing is awesome. Send emails or topic suggestions to bitcast@bitbloggers.com. And as always, thanks for tuning in to talk about some stuff. Peace.